Hello again, all you racers at heart. I'm one of those people. I really wish I could afford to go automotive racing. It's a really expensive hobby and quite dangerous, so it's probably best that I don't have that kind of money. I'd be dead by now. Okay, anyways. So this is an interesting race car. I don't really know too much about it. I've heard of a Radical, but that's about the extent of my knowledge of it. So let's first see here. This is listed but as a Dorlop. So I think the brand of the model company is called Dorlop. I didn't bother to look into this though. China dealer edition, because I think Radical has dealerships throughout the world, including China. Okay, so it doesn't actually say anything about Dorlop, although it did say that in the eBay listing. So let's get this guy open. Radical. Well, actually, I'm sorry. I think the Radical is called a line of cars. No, I guess it is the brand of cars. Sorry, that's as little as... No, wait a sec. See, it's very confusing. I think the name of the car company is called Xtreme Motorsports. And then maybe they have a line of cars called the Radical. And within that line of cars, they have the RXC. I might be totally wrong, but that's what I'm guessing. Okay. Anyhow, Xtreme Motorsports is a British racing car / road car company. So they make race cars and road cars. And they were established in 1997. And I guess they're still around today because I looked up their website, and I'll show you an image from their website. The RXC is just one of their many cars. They do make more than one race car. They make probably like 10 of them. And this one, I guess, is relatively popular. It's the only closed top track car that they make. So it's not only a track car, but I believe this is also street legal. So you can theoretically drive it out of your garage, go to a racetrack, compete, and then drive home. Okay. This box is pretty good. You know, it's not falling out, although it's not a good idea to hold it from the top. But it's not totally loose. Let me get this. There's two screws here. There's a quality control at whatever factory made this. Okay. It seems to be die-cast metal, just based on the weight of it. I don't think it's made of resin. So these are images I pulled up when I looked up an RXC China, and the number does match up. This number is 68. I don't know what year this race is, though, unfortunately. Okay. Seems like this car lost its cover. You know, it was running this green cover before, but it must have fallen off or something during the race. Alright, it's interesting looking, right? The proportions are a bit weird. They're a little cartoony, the cockpit. You know, the cockpit seems really high compared to the side of the body. Or I guess maybe the side of the body just looks low. No, because that's driven by the wheel size. So it's... I don't know what size wheels this thing is running, but the cockpit is exceptionally tall. Look at this from the side profile, right? It's a strange looking ride. Okay. Well, anyways. Let's take a closer look here. We'll get this out. Sorry. Well, alright, so first let's start with the wheels here. It does... The rear wheel rolls. The front doesn't, though. This is totally jammed up. Something's holding it back. Maybe friction with the fender, I would guess. Alright, so the graphics here. Now, I do think, actually, the tire might have a decal or a sticker or something. You see, there's a little air pocket there. And I can see a little bit of that clear. So that's kind of weird. To actually see a decal on a rubbery tire. Yeah, that's definitely got to be a decal on the tire. So the wheel does look alright. You know, it's pretty thin spokes, really. You know, and obviously there's air passing between them. But there's no indication at all of a disc brake system. It's just dark back there. In their defense, though, looking at the real photograph, it's pretty dark back there. You know, so... It's not like it runs a shiny brake. It's probably carbon ceramic brakes that are dark. The tires do have some curvature to the sidewall. Seems alright. Okay, it seems also to be a really soft tire. Just based on that. Look at that. That seems really soft. So this vent here is just cast. There's no black paint there. The glass here seems to have silver paint for the sliding mirror windows, I mean. And then you got tiny little rivet marks. And then there's a little silver paint on the back of the mirror. This mirror, I think, is cast into the metal. I don't see a break. At least that's the initial impression. I think it's one continuous thing. Or maybe they possibly added the mirror to the body before they painted it, and the paint filled in the gap. Yeah, I don't know. All I know is if this is metal, that's a really thin stock for a mirror. It's really small. Something I would expect from a plastic mirror. Okay, uh-oh, what's this? Is this an air pocket? Yeah. Alright, so this is why I didn't see the decal. I think the entire side is a decal. Oh, I see now. Look at this right here. This black is super smooth. Then here Michelin Man, and over here it's wrinkly. So this is a giant decal. It's so hard to tell. But yeah, I have to believe that all this graphics is one decal. And then this tiny bit of black here is the original paint. But here it's paint, decal, because it's wrinkly. Okay, so longevity wise, this is not good. At some point in time, this decal is going to harden and it's going to crack. So not so great. Alright, well, maybe I'll put it back in the crystal box and I'll never touch it again. Alright, let's go to the back end here. It's kind of weak. The taillights are just painted. You know, there's red and silver there. Some bumps probably in the casting, but it is just painted. That's a nice texture in there. And there's also a circle here. Maybe, I don't know what that is. What do you think, guys? What is that? A port for a starter? I mean, these are the exhaust tips, I have to imagine. They have some depth to them, a little silver paint. They look good. Ooh, boy, now noticing there's a red tow hook here. That's really fragile. Looks like a piece of photo etched metal. There's probably one on the front as well. Oh boy, look how thin that is. That thing's super tight. Cool. Alright, plastic veins. So here, it's made by this brand, Dorlop. I have never heard of this brand before. I don't know if they're new or old and got out of business. But this is the first time I've heard of it. It's nice to see that it's screwed together if you want to modify something or repaint something. Okay, the rear wing here, pretty good. You know, it's not super thick plastic. Pretty thin, actually, at least on this side here. The wing does have curvature to it, like a real one, so that's nice. Let's go to the top here. So yeah, I guess I'm just looking at the graphics here. This is super smooth paint, but then this orange, you can see a little wrinkle there in the decal. You can see the clear wrinkliness here. So yeah, it's a decal around. What's amazing is I think it might be one decal. This whole thing looks continuous. See, there's an air pocket there. So that's a pretty big decal. I really pity the poor soul that had to put this on. I know how hard it is to put decals on a body. Alright, so that's a decal there on the top of the wing as well, and a bunch of air pockets. Alright. Going to the front. Yeah, we got these yellow lens covers. Behind it, silver paint. Seems alright. Looks good enough. There's a little black texture in here. It's painted black with the body. And then this is part of the belly pan. And it's got a texture on it, like it's carbon fiber. Although, honestly, I kind of have the suspicion this is a decal also. It's just a carbon fiber decal, along with that silver. There's a little badge here in the front here. It's offset a little bit, but it looks like that Radical logo from the packaging. Some sort of stylized R, like a racetrack bend. Okay, but yeah, see, now you can see the wrinkliness of the decal, whereas over here it's just super smooth paint. Alright. Oh, well, this is nice. On the windshield there's a decal as well, number 68. And inside, that's a cool interior. It's got a, looks like a physical textured, you know, carbon fiber simulation. Then we got the raised painted black wiper blade cast into the plastic there. Seems to be some silver, maybe a fuel filler door there, fuel filler port. Again, it's a decal, you can see the wrinkle there. yeah, decals in the tire. That's a really weird one. Yeah, a lot of air pockets in certain spots there. Yep, there. So, if you get this model, you gotta be really careful, guys. I would suggest you actually don't remove it from the box, because any moisture from your hands might potentially pull up the decal, especially if it's an old one where it wants to crack. This one seems still relatively nice, like the decal is pliable, you know, it's not completely rigid. Alright, well, boy, I don't know if we can see anything in the interior because that silver graphic is in the way, but it would be nice to see some racing harnesses, which I do not see. It's just black seats there, 2 of them. I think the seats might be identical as well. I was thinking they might be different because, you know, a lot of race cars do that. But, oh, we have to remember this is probably a street legal car. So a street legal car might want to have identical seats. So, okay, well, it's an interesting one. When I saw this on eBay, I just thought, well, I gotta get it because I don't think anyone else in the future is going to make a 1/64 scale RXC, right? The probability of this ever being done again is extremely low. So if you like these purpose-built race cars, you know, you might want to pick up this model. I'm glad I got it. So we can compare it to like one other model I have. It's a Toyota Gazoo, or I forget the actual number of it. Hold on, let me start this thing up. This is the Radical website, by the way. They have something now called the RXC GT. So it's making 650 horsepower, 180 miles per hour, 2.7 seconds. That's definitely a supercar. And I read online that the thing makes 900 kilograms of downforce, at least an older version of this thing, which is the weight of the vehicle itself. So maybe the new one is capable of actually running upside down, because I think the older Wikipedia article I had, it's much less power than this one. Okay, well, this other model is made by Spark Model, which is hard to know because Spark for some reason chooses to put nothing on the bottom of their vehicles. But it's a Spark and it's a Toyota and it's one of those Le Mans racing prototype things. I forget the actual chassis code, what it is. It's an alright model. I mean, there's a lot of details going on. I do like the fact that you can see the tires through the vents right there. I mean, that's pretty neat. And then obviously you got these deep channels next to the cabin, you know, going in through the front and scooping around. So that's the closest thing I have in my collection, but it's a different class of vehicle. This is running the top tier of Le Mans racing product, LMP class. Whereas this, I think, is, you know, it's more of a second-rate kind of race car. It would never be able to compete against the top tier of LMP racing, so its form factor is quite different. Alright, one other thing I do have is a Ferrari 333 SP, and it's made by Kyosho. And so this is, again, is not, I don't think this was a top-tier racer either. And I do think they may have had street-legal versions of this car. So Kyosho just has it in red here. And you can see the proportions are much more similar. This, I guess, lesser class of race vehicle, if you could call these lesser class vehicles, because they'll actually obliterate most other road cars, right? I mean, this, as goofy as this thing kind of looks compared to these other ones, its performance is staggering, I think. 2.7 seconds, 0 to 60. That's really fast. That's like a neck-snapping acceleration. So I decided to pull up a couple pics of it in its normal street legal guise. And I think it actually looks better just with the normal paint job, not the crazy, you know, stripes you see all over this Chinese racing one. The cockpit for some reason doesn't look as goofy, at least in the front view. It's still a little goofy here in the rear view. But anyways, I think it's got to be a pretty insane street car to be driving around. I'm also noticing here that there is actually a tow hook on the front of this thing. And it was only by looking at this photograph I realized it's vertical there under the nose. So, sorry, let's see if I can get the camera to focus there. See, there's a little red tow hook there. and there's air passing between this in the holes, so that's pretty impressive actually. So that's a nice little detail that this Dorlop brand did. I only wish it actually had clear taillights. This one seems to have like clear white lenses and stuff. And then here's a look at that round dot there. I have to guess maybe it's used to start the motor or something. I'm not sure. Okay, well anyways, yeah, if you like unique looking race cars and or unique looking street legal road cars, this RXC is an interesting one. The only major thing wrong with this guy is the use of decals. If you never touch the model again, it'll be probably fine, but in 10-20 years it also, well, I don't know, it might start cracking. That's what I'm really afraid of, the decals cracking. But I guess in the worst case scenario, if the paint's still good, you could just remove the decals entirely and you'll just have a cool looking street legal black version, right? Alright, well anyways, I don't know if I'll be around that long to find out, but hopefully you enjoyed this video, and if hopefully you'll stick around to see some more. Alright.